Good morning. It's Skip Jeffries here, doing in the series Dehydration for the Situation. Today's episode we'll be doing some dried tomatoes here, so we'll go ahead and get started here. These are all tomatoes from our garden here. Combination of some cherry, some of the orange zingers. I even got one big boy up here, but there may be even some Romas in there. But she made salsa earlier in the week, and then we've got all these here. So we dehydrated them before in the past. She made some kind of dip with them, but they turned out fabulous. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can dehydrate a bunch of these and just get them used up. We've got plenty more in the garden. All I do is just kind of quarter them. First you start by destemming them. Then I normally quarter the smaller ones, the cherry tomatoes, and even the Romas. The yellow zingers are small enough too that you could probably quarter them. You may even think about maybe going into thirdsies with them if you want to. Yeah, that's probably what we'll end up doing with these bigger ones. But yeah, just go ahead and cut the majority of your tomatoes up here. And a couple of the sites I looked at, they said probably roughly about a quarter inch if you got less than a quarter inch if you got to dice them up. But yeah, these things shrink up pretty good. Like I said, I normally coat them with the oil, and then I season them up with just oregano, some salt, a little bit of cayenne. I'm gonna try again to see if that'll give it a little bit of a spice. But man, they turned out fabulous. They were good eating. Like I said, she put it into I'm trying to think of what she did. It was some kind of a dip, but it was really good. But yeah, if you got a dehydrator, don't be afraid to try doing this. We'll see if we can get a couple trays going in here. And you also want to make sure you got a somewhat sharp knife, especially when you're cutting tomatoes. But yeah, we could be here for days. But yeah, I'm sure there's many different ways of doing it. This is just the way I do it. If there's a better way of doing it, just let me know. I'm always open for suggestions. Like I said, I just go online and kind of read how other people do it, and I kind of mimic if it sounds good, and if it doesn't, I try my own way. And some of these are a little green. Like I said, we had some bad storms earlier in the week, and one of our big tomato plants broke off in half. So a lot of these greener ones are ones from that we're just wanting to save what we could off there, and really can't make a salsa out of. I guess you could out of green tomatoes. Figured we'll dehydrate them. You put enough seasoning on there, I don't think it'll make a difference. Oh, we got a pretty good tray going here. I'm gonna switch gears and kind of show you the process I use. I use just a regular olive oil. This one's extra virgin olive oil. I just pick up at Walmart. Normally I'll brush them on top of the tomatoes, lightly coated. Then I sprinkle on I'm gonna try sprinkling on some Italian season this time. Last time I mixed it in with the oil, it worked, but it didn't seem like I got a consistency of seasonings across the tomatoes. Put in just a dash of cayenne pepper this time, and then I normally follow it up with a kind of a dash of salt on all these tomatoes. But got some oil in here already, trying to use up the old stuff that we had from another jar. And like I said, I just lightly coat them, and the only reason I'm doing it in this tray here is to kind of alleviate the mess that you have cleaning your dehydrator. Last time I did everything in the dehydrator, and it was a hot mess to clean up. But yeah, just lightly douse your tomatoes with the oil, and mainly it's just there to adhere your seasoning to. Pretty quick, pretty easy process. All right, now that you got them all lightly coated, we'll go ahead and just kind of sprinkle on our Italian seasoning. And I usually like to go pretty generous on there. And I thought I went too much last time and it wasn't quite enough. So I figure I'll just do a healthy dose on all these things, all these tomatoes, and get them well covered. Like I said, it was very flavorful, and it was a good mix. And it made the garage smell pretty good too. That's the other reason I'm out here, is just the aromatics that you get with dehydrating vegetables and herbs and stuff. Sometimes it can stink up the house a little bit. But yeah, just a light dash of the cayenne on there. We'll sprinkle on, this is like a pink Himalayan salt, so what we got in the house. I think some places mention kosher. It's all depending on what your taste and likings are. But yeah, these are nicely coated. We're gonna go ahead and transfer these over to the dehydrator tray, and hopefully it isn't as bad of a mess. I guess we just gotta make sure the top tray will fit on there. It should. Oh yeah. But yeah, just a single layer. Try to space them out. They always say skin side down. Some of these tomatoes are a little on the high side, so we may have to just lay them down and just kind of deal with that. But yeah, I try to use as much space of the tray as you can because, like I said, we got quite a few tomatoes here. Normally, this will probably, dehydration process probably takes, I would say, good, probably 3 days. I think it took 2 days the last time, and the weather was a little bit cooler and not as full of moisture. Like I said, I think we did this probably 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, it wasn't quite as hot as it's gotten now. This time of year, you're lucky if your day starts off in the low 80s. So yeah, it looks like that tray kind of equates out to about, like I said, it's not rocket science. It takes time. It's not a fast process. It's not something that you can just kind of throw together and be done with in a couple hours. At least that's what I've learned from dehydrating, especially in the summertime. It seems like it takes almost double the time because we did herbs, I think it was yeah, last weekend, and it took 2 days just because of the moisture content. But we did have a lot of storms and a lot of rain, so that probably played a lot with it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and put our second tray up. So hopefully we won't have too many. I did bring out one of the big beef eaters. My wife said I needed to try one, so I figured I'd take it out here and kind of slice it and see what it tastes like. But yeah, hopefully this will save on the mess in the dehydrator by doing this extra step here in the tray. But yeah, just like I said before, if you notice any bad areas, just kind of cut them out. A home garden here, and it's been filling all our needs so far this year, so. And just like before, I mean, I generously coat these things in seasoning. Like I said, this here is just, I think it's a Walmart brand Italian seasoning. Oregano works too, basil, I mean, it's whatever you want or whatever you have in your kitchen you could probably use. And we'll hit these with a little bit of cayenne. And I've always been told that you hit it with some salt just to kind of bring out the flavors. And 2 rows in, we'll get her done, and still got over half a thing of tomatoes. But yeah, I'll try to keep this video all together. I'll probably come back after these things are all dehydrated so you can see the finished product. So video will probably come out later in the week, probably right around Wednesday or Thursday if we're lucky. Like I said, it's been pretty humid here, so I think that affects a lot of it too. And like I said, I don't like dehydrating the house because sometimes some of the stuff you do, especially like onions, and I haven't done garlic yet. That may be on the list. Normally that stuff are the herbs. Some of the herbs smell good. Some of them it's almost too much. It's like sensory overload. Surprising this morning was, like I said, first time I was in the garden all week since last weekend. Work takes it out of you, I guess. You work 10-hour days, the last thing you want to do is work more at home, so. Already back again here. I forgot I had a bunch of cherry tomatoes and a bigger beefsteak, but normally for the cherry tomatoes, we just go ahead and I just dice them in half. Last time I did them whole and they just didn't, they're almost like raisins and I didn't like that. I guess there was no way for the moisture to kind of escape, so you gotta kind of have to cut them. And some of these are pretty small. Like I said, I think we've got one cherry tomato plant that we planted this year. Light oil all over the top of it. So this one here, I'm just gonna kind of dice. Every place I've gone, they said 1/4 inch or less, and these might be on the healthy side of a 1/4 inch, but they'll all dry up, I guess, the same. And we'll lay these flat. Well, I've got so much seasoning in the bottom of that pan there, we probably don't need to season both sides of them. Yeah, I want to keep one slice out. I want to try it. That should do it. Looks like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trays of tomatoes. Taste this one here. She wasn't kidding. That's pretty good. Anyways, like I said, this is a Nesco dehydrator used for food and jerky. Normally for this setting, they recommend probably 135, so I'll probably set it at 135, and I think with the humidity it's going to be a couple days worth of work here. Yeah, simple as that. Back again the following day, probably roughly about 21 hours, I think, as far as dry time here. This thing off, dehydration here, and we'll take a look at what we got here. As you can see, pretty well dry, so we'll go ahead. I'm going to try to bag these things up. We may freeze some of these, maybe to make them last longer than the typical time. Surprisingly, these turned out really, really well. Not gonna lie, we tasted a couple of them earlier, and oh wow, they were fantastic. So I mean, well worth the time. I mean, these baggies here I think are just normal little small snack baggies from probably say Dollar General is what it looks like as far as the packaging goes. I don't know, we may do 1 tray per baggie, separate them out that way. But yeah, surprisingly pretty well. I mean, things made the garage smell awesome. Almost smelled like a pizzeria in here when they were cooking. Yeah, I think that'll do pretty good for single servings, and we'll put them in probably a larger Ziploc, or I've got vacuum seal bags we could probably use. Yeah, surprisingly, it turned out better than what I thought it was going to. It took quicker too, so it has been kind of dry here. I mean, it's been almost 2 days since we've had rains, and we were discussing yesterday what we could use this on, and we were thinking maybe for pizza topping, add them along with like pepperoni. I mean, there's just so much flavor pack when you add the oregano and a little bit of salt on it. It's pretty awesome. So like I said, pretty good deal here. I was pleasantly surprised by this. Like I said, I experimented with tomato drying probably a couple weeks ago, kind of off camera, just as an experiment to see if it would work, and it turned out pretty good. And like I said, I think we used it in some kind of a chip dip recipe or veggie dip recipe. So, but as you can see, we've got plenty of these things, and tore a big dent in the tomato harvest that we had going on here. So, and plus it got rid of a lot of the green tomatoes that we probably wouldn't have had a use for otherwise. But yeah, I mean, pretty simple, maybe 2 to 3 days worth of work. And ideally, I mean, I'm talking about harvesting too. I mean, collecting tomatoes and everything out of the garden. So not bad for what you put into it, and what you get out of it's phenomenal. Like I said, these are wonderful tasting. Little dried tidbits packed with flavor. You could probably even use them as a snack, eat them right out of the bag. They're that good. But anyways, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching.